Greetings, Lighthead here, and on this video I look at a slightly disturbing but mostly stupid series of incidents, or should that be battles, that have been lighting up British high streets everywhere. Battles which could have been entirely avoided if the people running these long-standing shopping institutions hadn't still been living in the 18th century. I speak, of course, of Marks and Spencer's, and others, getting hacked almost to death. On April 21st, 2025, Marks & Spencer, the well-to-do retailer with decades of excellent service, satisfaction and genuinely lovely steak and ale pies amongst other things, was hacked out of the blue, seemingly by the hacker group Scattered Spider. Though this may just be a load of old codswallop because they don't know for sure. What they do know, however, is that they were grossly underprepared for this incident and as a result are having to seriously get their arse into gear to prevent their old-timey establishment from collapsing. Which is a shame really, because I've been going to old Marks and Sparks since I was a nipper. They have lovely cafes with some truly awesome grub, a great selection of food in their supermarket section, and a broad array of granny clothes. You know, those haughty-looking collared things covered in flowers, and the armoured leather-looking shoes that old women wear. They sell the lot. As I say, M&S is an institution, and it's a bit of a shame to hear they've been targeted by secreted thieves, whoever they may be. It's a bit like hearing the old lady down the road was accosted by a gang of bikers and had her purse stolen. It's just sketchy and unpleasant. 700 million has been lost from their shares because of the initial attack alone, and, because people by and large are thoughtless and opinionated, customers have already begun to abandon ship to go to shop at other stores. The unappreciative sods. Have some loyalty in your high street institutions rather than just abandoning them immediately because a small group of thieves gave them a hard time. Stop abandoning ship, you capricious dregs! Simultaneously, however, M&S really should have had some pepper spray ready in its purse because the world is a rough place, populated by every variety of scum you can name. Big department stores should all be on the ball and ready for cyber attacks, should all have the requisite IT infrastructure and defenses in place. Yet M&S didn't. It seems they were asleep at the wheel. And they're not the only ones apparently. Co-op, another long-standing and reliable retailer that sells everything and has provided low-cost goods for donkey's years, was also hacked. They lost 800 million. Another old lady being mugged, this time by a group called Dragon Force. Yes, the co-op should have had measures in place and were unprepared, this is true. But it's the co-op. Have some respect for God's sake. And believe it or not, the big boy itself got hacked. Yep, Harrods, the poshest of the posh. Retailer of expensive, fanciful and thoroughly pretentious nonsense had its pockets rifled to the sum of 500 million. Though, let's be honest, with the toot they sell they can easily afford it. And who's to blame? Yeah, Scattered Spider again. I have no particular personal appreciation for Harrods, despite framing itself as the most exclusive of department stores. I always found many, not all, but many, of its staff to be cold, aloof, and as pretentious as the ridiculously named perfumes they sell. But still, steady on, thieving chappies. And it's not just the financial blow that's harsh about these crimes. Reports of staff having to sleep in their offices, working around the clock to desperately try to undo the damage and save as much money, and therefore jobs, as possible. Imagine the kids of those poor workers asking when mummy or daddy will be home. Imagine the poor parents worrying about their income and their entire lives attached to it. It's unfair and cowardly. That's right. Why aren't more measures being taken to catch cyber scum anyway? Ultimately, I'd advise any and all shops, big and small, to have at least some measure of cybersecurity, even if it's just to buy the cheapest McAfee spam protection they sell. Because that's your business, your livelihood, and the livelihoods of everyone who works for you. So don't be tight-fisted. Get protected like an Amsterdam red light district adult worker so you don't have to worm yourself out for the next 6 months. And, coming from a personal place, I'd like to extend my thoughts to all those people who have had to scramble like lunatics in order to prevent the boat from capsizing. You've been through hell recently, and you didn't deserve to endure that because some old boy or another doesn't know what the internet is. Like my man Joey Swall would tell that clueless administrator,
You need to do better.
You can always reach into my pockets, Joey.
it's been rough, but you're all doing a great job in keeping our beloved institutions alive. So well done, all of you, and keep it up. Like and subscribe.